Now let's move away from the gathering for a moment, and while I've got you here, I really want to ask you about the Daily Maverick itself. As the CEO and one of the Mavericks, really, it is something quite different to a lot of what we experience in South African media. You're independent and not part of a big company like, quite honestly, many of us are. What are the challenges, some of them, that you face? And you obviously do it day in and day out, so they must be worth facing.
I'm not sure we've got enough time to go through all the challenges.
No, probably not.
Because it's quite varied. I mean, as an independent news brand that's known for hard-hitting content, makes our lives, especially on the business side of things, very, very difficult. Because yes, that hard-hitting content is what attracts us to readers. It allows us to grow without much of a marketing budget, and we've become known as a fierce, independent, yet small news organization. The challenge with that is that it's not always in corporate's best interests to have their brands alongside, hard-hitting content, especially if that hard-hitting content is potentially aimed at that corporate's biggest customer, which in South Africa, and most times, could be government, one of government's departments. So it is quite challenging, and it's been an emotional roller coaster ride. It's been fun. It's been great. I think we've allowed our journalists the freedom that a lot of other publications could not or would not allow because of either financial, corporate, or political interests in those publications. So I think I think it's something special. I think it's rare, but it's extremely challenging. And in order to overcome those challenges, we've got to work. I mean, everyone in this industry works really hard, but I think just the amount and the quality of that amount that we put out, I think, is what's helped us get to where we are today.
We certainly see this with the online community, but I think it's highlighted even more in the Daily Maverick, and that's the user's ability to interact with the reporter as soon as a piece is published, to either sort of back them up and say I share your opinion, or to say I completely disagree. And the Daily Maverick's a place that really encourages that debate, and you certainly see robust debates happening in the comment section, trolls aside. But when it comes to that community of people, is it a specific type of person that reads the Daily Maverick, a specific type of person who's going to be attending the gathering? Can you give us an idea?
Yeah, when we look at our audience, it's not a specific sector. It's not like people in corporates are our main readers. We like to think there are people who are either decision makers in various elements of South African society, from government to media to whatever level, and a big student following as well. We've started noticing a lot of students are now becoming active readers and people who are aspiring decision makers. I think it's the style of journalism that we put out there is long form, so it's always going to attract someone who's willing to set aside that time to invest in a longer read, and that, I think, is a certain type of person. We also see that, for example, books do really well in our advertisements. So we obviously have people who love to read. I think is a good starting point, and then people who are interested in debate and interested in analysis and good long form journalism. And I think that could be anyone from any sector, but I think it's a certain cerebral type of person, if I could use that adjective.
Stilly, what I find so interesting actually about this is that there is a strong argument that long format journalism is really sort of, it's fading away, and that fewer and fewer people are willing to sit online and read lots of copy. But actually what we see in South Africa are people who want more and who are interested in sitting down with something that's quite a bit longer than the 400 words many people say South Africans are willing to read.
Yeah, so I mean, people have been saying that since we started, and we only do 1,000-word plus features, whether it's analysis or opinion pieces or op-eds. And I think, for us to be able to grow from nowhere as a new brand to where we are today, and to consider our sort of position and respect in the marketplace, I think, proves that there is always going to be a space, as long as you put in the appropriate effort and produce the appropriate quality. And I think that's what that was lacking for a while. I think people thought the internet is just about short
GIFs.
Yeah, GIFs and cat videos and Twitter, and you'll get everything from Twitter. But you can't get everything from Twitter. You know, you can't get everything in 140 characters. And South Africa is a place that has complex issues, and those can't be explained in 140 characters. And sometimes 1,000 words isn't enough to explain that. But it's also the duty of the editor and the journalist to write it in a style that I think remains fresh and that I think keeps, not only informs, but entertains. Because at the end of the day, you're competing with cat videos and all the other distractions that the internet has to offer. And you need to create something that's not only going to inform the reader, but that they're going to keep wanting to come back and spend the time to finish that article and come back for more later on.